Welcome to the Somos Sunnyside podcast, brought to you by the Office of Public Information, where we are sharing stories about the bright side of education.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Somos Sunnyside, continuing here, highlighting the amazing programs throughout our district, especially the focus has been on our high schools this month of February, highlighting our CTE programs. And coming live to you from Desert View High School, Jaguar Nation. We have two special guests today. We got Chief Master Sergeant Stephen Frederick, who's the Junior ROTC instructor here at Desert View. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you, Mr. Gastelum?
I'm doing okay. Excited here to learn a little bit about the program. And joining me also is our student cadet here, Mika Chance. How you doing, Mika?
I'm doing well. Nice to see you.
Doing good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get started. It's so important for us to highlight what we offer students, right? The whole student experience for those 8th graders that are coming to high school, for those 9th graders that are thinking about taking new courses. We want to show and highlight what happens in Air Force Junior ROTC here at Desert View High School. So let's get to it. First, Chief Master Sergeant Frederick, you've been here quite a while now. You've been running this program. I mean, you've had an amazing career. And so tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got here to Desert View, and some of your experiences.
All right. Okay. Let's see. I started by enlisting in the Air Force in 1981.
A little while ago.
Just like yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
26 years later, they told me I was going to go to the Pentagon, and I said, no, I'm not. So I started teaching. I taught 2nd grade in Tucson,
okay.
And then I taught 5th grade in Tucson, and finally somebody called me, and they said, we have a junior ROTC position open. Mm-hmm. And I went to work for 5 years teaching this class, but in Nogales.
Right, okay.
Right, and then the colonel that was here at the time, Colonel Sutterth, invited me to come up here and teach it up here, and that was 11 years ago.
Yeah, and obviously I have roots here at Desert View High School as I was an assistant principal here and then later a principal, so I almost spent about 10 years here at Desert View. And so this has always been an amazing program. And I remember the OGs, right, the veterans that started this program, Colonel Steve Sutter, Chief Liendo. You've had one of our board members, Robert Jaramillo, Chief Jaramillo, who is an instructor, now a board member. And so it's neat that, people continue to come and serve, this community. And so we were happy to steal you from Nogales, So how many years here at Desert View now?
This is my 11th year teaching at Desert View.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes by.
So 11 years here at Desert View. And so, Mika, we're gonna go to you now. So tell us a little bit about why you chose to get involved with Junior ROTC here at Desert View.
So for me, I've always been interested in the Air Force ever since I flew here from Africa, Tanzania. So I've been interested. I was like, 2019, I went to the air show here at Davis Mountain Air Base. Mm-hmm. I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to fly planes. Okay. So come my high school year, I was actually at Amphi High School, but then they had an, Army ROTC program. I wasn't too interested because I was like, Air Force for me. And then when we moved, it was just like an opportunity rose up. Desert View, they already have an ROTC program. I showed up. My sophomore year, I joined.
It was meant to be, huh?
Meant to be for me.
Meant to be. You moved in town, moved across town, and here it is, the program. Tell us a little bit about your experiences. You said you've been in the program since your sophomore year?
Mm-hmm. 3 years.
So you're now a senior. This is your 3rd year in the program. So tell us, what are some of the things students can expect from being in the program?
Being in ROTC, you can expect to learn valuable lessons on being a citizen with good character, morals, having moral values. So, for example, we have the code of conduct. It's something that I basically live by now. I will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. It's important to me because having those people who I can trust, who won't lie to me, steal, or anything, that's important. It builds good characters. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well spoken, like he's well trained, right?
Yeah.
That's right. So Chief Frederick, tell us a little bit about some of the courses you guys offer here. I'm imagining you have like a 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, type of sequence. So tell us a little bit about that. So as students are looking into what high schools I'm going to go to, what programs do I want to be involved with, and I imagine also is you know, you get a lot out of a class like, you know, junior ROTC, whether it's Air Force or any other branch it's representing. I mean, there's a lot of benefits, even for those students that probably won't make it a career. But for those that are interested, you're making it a career. It's a perfect fit. So first, tell us a little bit about, you know, the courses, what you guys offer. I know there's other instructors here.
So we're a 3-instructor unit.
Okay.
We have Major Piper, who is our senior instructor, myself, and then I have a Master Sergeant, currently temporary, and we're trying to hire a different Master Sergeant. All of us are retired Air Force. That's how you qualify to teach this course, is you have to be in retired Air Force. And then we run, between the three of us, we run 10 classes, 5 first-year classes, 1 senior class, and then 4 second, third-year mixed classes. And so if you were a student coming here first year, you can expect that your first semester is really learning the basics of what a junior ROTC cadet does, what they are, the core values, how to wear the uniform, how to act in the classroom, just basic stuff. Your second semester, as a first-year cadet, we roll into different things. For instance, this year we're rolling into survival studies. So they're going to learn how to survive in the wilderness with very austere type conditions, and kids kind of like that. So that's a specialty thing we do for second semester because they've already learned all the basics of Air Force stuff. As you get into your second year, you'll learn some aerospace science, basics of flight. What else do we do?
You know, the rockets.
We do rockets.
Aerospace, so
rocket
aerospace
science
too. Rocket science, yeah. You can see some boxes of
we have, and anybody, even first years, can come in and fly the simulators and join the simulator club.
Gain hours before even like taking any flight programs. You gain simulator hours. Yeah,
yes.
I have about 160 up there.
So document those as hours. Huh?
Well,
yeah,
so
we keep
because of
track
the hours count, we have a program where people can go during their junior, senior summer, or their senior summer. After they graduate, they can go to Embry-Riddle and get a pilot license, paid for by the Air Force. And so it's very competitive. Mika competed this year. He didn't get one. We're still trying to get one.
Very competitive.
But part of it is being on the simulator and having hours and understanding flight.
The flight.
But that's all out paid for. If you get it in your junior year, you go to pilot school. And when you come back here for your senior year, you're a licensed pilot.
Wow.
And if I could chime in for a second, so
anytime you want, Mika.
the cool thing about how we do the simulators is that in ROTC you learn leadership, right? Absolutely. So those simulators are actually ran by students. No instructor here. They're just here to supervise. They just watch us. And then the kids come here. They're like, you get this many hours. You get to stay there for this long. So we could give people turns. We only have 3 simulators, so we know how to divide them per hour. They go here from 2:45 to 3, so they got to learn how to time management.
Yeah,
no, 1:45.
You guys do a lot of just community service projects.
Yeah, a lot of community service. It's required.
Absolutely.
Brainstorms.
That's
I know
part of the
when
core.
you know, when I was here, I mean, you guys were like at every event, whether you guys were presenting the colors, you know, parades, different events around.
We're doing tours today.
So there's just, I mean, the neat thing is that students understand this piece of, you know, providing service. I know there's a saying, I'm gonna screw it up, but service before self.
Yeah, that's
I remember. So
core values: integrity, service, excellence.
It's that piece of service before self. So and so I love seeing, you know, everybody loves seeing students in uniforms, but it's much more than just putting on the uniform. And so, what does it mean to you, Mika, as you put on that uniform? And I say it's much more than just putting on the uniform. What does that mean to you?
To me, it's crazy for that you asked that question, because even when I'm just walking outside coming to school, I have people who stop by just to thank me for my service. I'm like, I haven't joined the military, but I can look through the things like I do into community services where I actually help out the community. So I could look at it in that way where technically I'm actually helping out. And even if it's not that way, I'm going to be serving anyway. So these are just pre-thank yous.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's so many benefits, right, from going into the military. I think there was this stigmatism or misconception, if you want to call it, of, you know, back in the day when I went to school, that like if you didn't do well in school,
you
belonged in the military, right?
No, that's not the concept.
And that's not the case. I mean, especially, I happened to go to, there was an educator's workshop through the Marines that they sent educators through. And, one of the lead people there, I'll call it the brass, right? The brass that was there said, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but they said, we don't want your crappy kids, and those, I'm quoting, those aren't my words, but they're investing, in people. They're investing, millions of dollars to train and to put up good people. And my point here is that that's changed. It's no longer, we don't look at it that way anymore.
Yeah.
Community doesn't look at it as, okay, those kids that couldn't cut it in school go to the military. No, it's options. And now students can have the best of both worlds, right? They can enter the career, they can get the military experience, and I have a son that serves. He serves in the Marine Corps, and he's and there's benefits. There's
I can give you one right now.
What are they? Tell me,
what's it
because
called? I recently talked to Marines, so
GI Bill.
they're still in my brain. There's a GI Bill. So one that they told me that was really interesting to me. So when I finish my basic training and they put me through my tech school where I learn my job, when I'm done with that, I can immediately start taking college classes, and they're fully paid for by the Marine Corps. So I'm not sure. The Air Force does something where you're like, like that.
Yeah, they all do the GI Bill.
Which is just amazing. I mean.
And then there's college ROTC programs that
JROTC in college itself.
To school. So a lot of benefits. So please, those students that ask questions, those the youth that are listening, parents that are listening, that's a huge misconception. And so there's a lot of benefits from serving this country in whatever branch you choose. And so, what does a typical week look like for the cadets? I mean, because I don't want to miss out on some of these experiences for students. There's days where they wear uniforms. There's days where you guys, and field days and all this good stuff. So tell us, Frederick, what does a typical week look like?
All right, but I want to circle back to...
And I also want you to talk a little bit about, and if I'm saying it right, the is it squadrons that you have?
We have flight squadron.
Flight squadron.
Yeah.
Okay, talk a little bit about that.
Typical week, Monday, we march. Marching Monday. You're learning teamwork, precision drill. You are working with each other. The instructors give you basic, and then we give you correction, but you actually learn it together as a flight. You're in a flight, which is like an Army platoon, right? So the people are in a flight. One of the cadets in that flight, in that class, is the flight commander. And then the two classes, the upper flight and the first years, are a squadron. And there'll be a squadron commander. And on, say, Monday, that's the drill day, the squadron goes outside on the drill pad, which is really a basketball court. But anyway, they go on the drill pad, and we teach them precision marching. And that's somewhat competitive with the other squadrons because you get points toward Flight of the Year for it, and you get to do things like, for instance, we had 2nd Squadron just demonstrate a drill competition or a drill sequence rather for our inspection we just had, and got an exceed standard on it. So they got to shine a little bit. And
I'm pretty impressed about what she did because the squadron commander there, she picked basically just the first years. They don't know anything. And managed to put them through the work where they can actually exceed standards, which was pretty impressive.
So, and then we have block days here at Desert View. So Tuesday and Wednesday are hour and 45-minute classes, and that's when we do our academics. So whatever your academics are for that particular week, sometimes it's going to be aerospace science, sometimes it's going to be survival, sometimes it's going to be finance, personal finance, how to become a millionaire. I keep waiting for somebody to send me $1.
Right.
And
they're like, nah. We're waiting for that person that masters that one.
Yeah. So that's the block days, and they're the academics, whatever your academics happen to be. And then Thursday's our uniform day. So this uniform inspection, it is really your homework in ROTC is getting your uniform ready and showing that you can do that. It's part of the deal. And we have kids always that don't want to wear the uniform. And I understand that there's some, I'm leery of you wearing the uniform. But I put it like this. If you were on the volleyball team, would you have to wear the uniform? That's right. And yes, you would. That's part of being on that team.
And wear it proudly.
Now this year, for our first time, we offer the camouflage uniform as another uniform
Yeah.
option. Prior to this year, we're not allowed to do that, but now we can do that. So all of our seniors are in OCPs. In fact, all of our second years, right?
Yeah.
All of our second years are in OCPs, and the first years are going into OCPs over the next month or so.
Yeah, the semester, so we distribute them.
And OCP is just our new camouflage uniform.
I was just going to say, the military has tons of acronyms, OCPs, and
Yep.
I know when I speak to
ABUs.
my son, he's like, and I'm like, stop, just speak another language. So I'm like, okay, tell me this so I can understand it.
And then Fridays are our physical training day.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's literally push-ups and sit-ups. Today we did an obstacle
I
course,
ran that
teamwork
out.
obstacle course thing where they had to carry sandbags and
Make
push-ups.
a wall, carry logs.
And sometimes it's just a team game, right? Sometimes it's just a little bit of mush ball or
balls.
something.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Sunnyside students can have it all, learning and growing to graduate college, career, and community ready. Don't believe us? Just watch. At Sunnyside Unified School District, we are preparing our graduates with real-world skills and experiences. Our graduates are leaving Sunnyside to pursue an Ivy League education, becoming collegiate-level athletes, and earning prestigious scholarships such as the Gates Millennium, Dell, and Dorrance.
So, being a former principal here at Desert View, I used to love attending a lot of the events, that you have, and I wish I knew the names of all of them, but I know you had a junior ROTC ball that you would
Military
have
ball.
every year, the military ball, and then you had
Field day.
the award ceremony, at the end of the year, who was, flight commander of the year or squadron of the year. I don't
Cadet
know.
of the year.
So that was always pretty exciting because kids would get fired up about that. Right?
Yeah, so that's our extracurricular thing. So,
Right.
so what we've talked about so far is what we do in the classroom.
Right.
But we also have the things that we do after school, on the weekends, depending. We call them clubs. The Air Force has a new name for them now, but we still call them clubs. So we have a drill team, and they practice on Fridays, and they attend things on campus and off campus to demonstrate their drill. We have a color guard. They go all over the community presenting the colors.
Raiders.
We have a Raiders team, which is a fitness team, and a military skills team, and they practice on Friday as well. We have an unmanned aerial systems, which is like a drone.
Okay.
We have a drone club, and they also fly the
Simulators.
simulators, but we also have drones that they fly.
And then APT.
And then we have
Awareness
there's more.
presentation
Keep
team.
going.
Our awareness presentation team, basically. So for the tours, they basically help us bring awareness to ROTC, giving out tours, bringing people in so they can look into what we do in ROTC. So I was in it, which is why I'm kind of okay at talking at this.
Yeah.
And they'll also go to the middle
You
school.
are prepared, Mika. You are prepared.
Go to middle schools.
So do you guys do you also have guest speakers and stuff like that that come in and speak to cadets?
Army recruiters, like Sergeant Munoz, he comes here pretty frequently. He's subbed sometimes, so we've gotten used to him. Just coming, try to help out, recruit,
And they also come and do
fitness.
teach self-aid buddy care in a combat situation. And the kids have a lot of fun with that because they come in with the fake M16s and you have to go grab your buddy out of the field,
Carry
and
them
drag
out,
them
right,
back,
with the rifle.
and then you got to patch them up.
Mm-hmm.
So kids like that, and that we usually do because we have a first aid portion that we teach too. So during that time, we usually invite those guys in to do get the kids involved in some of that stuff.
Yeah.
What are we
Man,
missing?
just a whole lot to do. You
There is a lot.
Keep students
There's a lot.
busy, and so
We do. I'll jump in here just before we leave this part. We do a monthly trip to Davis-Monthan. 14 kids. They go and they shadow active duty members. So some will shadow pilots, some will shadow mechanics, commanders. Who'd you shadow?
No, pilots, of course. But
Okay.
if I could chime in for a second. So before we even go to Davis-Monthan, they always send out like a questionnaire asking us what jobs we're interested in so they could plan out just for us. The whole tour, they're giving us what we're interested in. The cadets who are saying they're going, they're planned out the whole event, how they would see themselves shadowing who they want to be, which is pretty awesome.
yeah, that's such a great experience, right? It's that first-hand experience, and I wish we had a camera here because Mika's like just jumping at every question, and he's so excited. Just love the positive energy, and so one thing I don't want to leave out, and I want our listeners to hear is that this is definitely an award-winning program. Every year, I know since I've paid attention is by the state of Arizona. You've been recognized as the distinguished program, getting those highest ratings by the Air Force headquarters, you're exceeding. The program is hitting the exceeds status.
Standards.
And so, it just says that, there's high expectations here, and students are rising to those expectations. So that should feel super good, right? That you're representing the program well, representing Desert View well, and definitely representing the Air Force well. And so, I remember in my days here, and sorry to have to keep bringing that up, but I had a lot of memories here at Desert View. I used to always brag about our poster child back in the day, and that was Timothy Crane, And I don't know if he's had a chance to, I know he's been probably living, across the U.S., going to different, living in different states as a pilot, right? I think he's a flight instructor, isn't he?
Now he's back out in the field.
Is he back on the field? Okay.
Flying 15.
Wow. So Timothy Crane was that first student to come out of Desert View and he got appointed to the United States Air Force Academy. And at the time, that appointment was like almost $500,000, appointment, which was super cool. And that's why I call him our poster child, because he's a student that grew up here in the district, who attended school in the district, was a Desert View grad. I think at the time you needed an endorsement from the senator. It was Senator...
either the senators or the vice president. I know this because I've applied
Mika's working it right
now.
I'm working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be our next poster child.
Yeah.
So he got Senator McCain at the time, the late Senator McCain's endorsement. Got interviewed by him. So it's a process. I want people to understand that it's super competitive. And I call him the real Top Gun. When the movie Top Gun came out, the new one, the Maverick, whatever it's called, I would text him and say, "Hey, you're the real Top Gun," But one of the most memorable pictures I've seen of Tim Crane is shaking President Obama's hand when he graduated from the United States Air Force Academy. He was there his 4 years. The president attends that graduation. All I could think of was, that's a Desert View student. That's a Air Force Junior ROTC student. That student came out of the Sunnyside community, and look where he's at. Shaking the president's hand, and he's doing amazing things. And he married Lily Trung, who's an engineer, Desert View grad as well. So Desert View's doing a good job of putting out some amazing kiddos. And so just wanted to brag about Timothy Crane there for a while. But and I know that. A lot of other students, although they may not be appointed to the United States Air Force Academy, they're having successful careers and taking advantage of those great benefits that are provided by the Air Force. But Mika, I want to come back to you. I want you to tell me about what's been your most memorable moment here in the program. Like, what's been just your your most memorable moment that you want to share with everyone, and what's been your most challenging moment?
My most memorable moment here would definitely be last year's field day, because I was the squadron commander during the field day, which we won our squadron. The field day itself is all 5 squadrons going up against each other, and my squadron came up on top. So I was very happy because I was their leader, and I'm like, yes.
That's it. You represented them well, huh? And what's been your most challenging moment? What's been kind of like a letdown where you're like, that's all right, because we learn through our failures, right?
That's going to be the leadership, because here, I'd like to say it's harder than the actual military leading kids here, because in these classes, they're not really required. They don't gotta feel like they have to actually do things in here. As long as they're here, they get 0.5% of the grade. So motivating them to actually do the work.
They don't get kicked out and lose their paycheck, right? Like
so they don't have a motivation. So it's hard to get them to actually want to do that. And my most challenging moment is actually coming up with ideas on how I can do that, because that's the whole point of leadership. How you can get people to
how you motivate students, right? So you get a little taste of what teachers go through, right?
Yeah. Every day.
Every single time.
And so like I said earlier, it's awesome that a lot of our cadets go on and pursue, that military experience and whatever branch they serve. But more than anything, you're learning leadership skills. You've gone to that word many times as we're talking today. And so, what is your message, Chief, to students that are thinking about coming to Desert View, thinking about joining the program, message students, message to parents about the program?
Well, I always say, you always have some kids who just want to be here. Mika's a good example of that. Didn't have to convince them of anything. But then you have kids who are like on the fence. I'm not sure if I want to do it. And I say, just give it a chance, and your hair will grow back. Right?
That's right.
But there's a lot of opportunities, and we have a lot of cadets who come and do 1 year, and then they're like, okay, we're done. We're going to go find something else because it's high school, right? And all of a sudden at high school they say, oh, I got culinary over here, and I have engineering, and I have all these things they can do that they couldn't do in middle school. We are one of the few programs that they can get into as a freshman.
Yeah.
So a lot of them come to us for our first year, and then they split off and find something else. And I encourage that. If we're not what they're looking for, then go find something else. But we do have opportunities for kids, and I encourage them, give us 1 year. And if we're not a fit for you, go find your fit, find who you're going to be in high school. We do offer, if you complete 3 years in ROTC, you get 2 pay raises if you join the military.
Wow.
As soon as you graduate tech school. So that's
Definitely
about
an incentive.
that's about $1,200 a month. More.
Except for Marines, though. Marines
What's
just bring you to an E2.
Well, Marines are
Yeah, they say even if you're
Marines
coming
are
from-
haters.
even
right?
if you're a chief in the Air Force would still be an E2 because they want you to have the experience. He told me this, my recruiter. He's
Yeah.
like, every single Marine just starts
So
from E2.
don't join the Marines.
And I wish I had that advice
Yeah.
before my son went off to the Marines. Jeez.
With the 2 year, you get 1 pay raise. With 3 years, you get 2 pay raises, except for the Marines. And we also can help you get into a college, ROTC, or the academy. Academy's very, very competitive. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
30,000 people trying to get 1,000 slots.
Yeah.
And those 30,000 people are top notch.
Yeah.
Just to get there.
And they're not just
you are
students.
top-notch
It's
And then-
people who are currently serving.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of cadets who we have FBI agents, we have 1 CIA agent, we have several. I think we have 5 or 6 military officers in different, and then we have a lot of people that enlist.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. You know, I'd love to someday see kind of like your wall of fame of Desert View graduates. That
We should put it up in here somewhere.
Yeah, that could be your project, Mika. You know, when you get famous in the military, you can come back and we can start something like that and honor, those individuals. Because it's such a cool experience. And so, as we wrap up here, any last thoughts? I mean, obviously, we want families to come check it out, right? I mean, we do family nights where we invite 8th graders. The high schools do family nights, and we're here to answer questions, right? We're here to provide them the information they need so that they can make decisions. But there's a lot of benefits that you guys have discussed here that students can benefit from. And so, any last thoughts, Mika?
For me, I'd say Desert View has a lot of opportunities. For me, for example, I'm in engineering, I'm in National Honor Society. I do a lot of things here, but I still have a way to manage my time with ROTC. I'm able to do things with them and coordinate with other instructors, other people over there where I can actually do things. So it's not impossible to do, 2 things at once. I'm engineering, and I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, you're on your way. I'm excited for your future. I mean, you're obviously a super bright young man, and the future, sky's the limit, right? As they say. Do they say that in the Air Force? Sky's the limit? No pun intended?
Now it's space is the limit for Space Force. That's what I'll be talking about.
Mika's got all the answers here, man. It's like Mika's like Google here.
That's right.
Any last comments, Chief? That for our listeners out there.
Well, it's a good program. I encourage people to give it a shot. Come see us. Come talk to us. There are kids who are afraid of us.
Yeah.
I encourage that too. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm a 6'3" guy dressed in for OCPs like camos. People are always terrified of me. I'm like,
you're intimidating.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't even view
guy.
myself as a danger. I'm like, what?
Well, we're really not intimidating, and I encourage kids to come see us if they're interested, and then we can talk to them and they can figure it out. I don't pressure kids to come in. I just tell them exactly what we do, and they make their choice.
Well, super cool. So to the listeners out there, students, parents, you will probably run into our cadets out there, at special events, the extracurricular activities they participated in. Like, as I said, whether they're presenting the colors, whether they're at a parade, whether they're just, helping out with events. Say hi to them, ask them questions. And like, as we've always said, our doors are open to you. Amazing things are happening here, at Desert View High School, and it's such an amazing experience. So I want to thank you both for giving me the opportunity to come to Desert View and highlight the program with just all the things that you guys have explained to our listeners. And so as we wrap up here, keep up the great work. Chief, thank you for your service. Thank you for continuing to work with students, as I'm sure you have positively impacted many, many students. And to Mika, good luck.
Thank you.
You know, we can't wait to see what you're doing, and you got to come back and tell us your story.
I will.
All right. Well, that wraps up this episode of Somos Sunnyside. Hasta la próxima. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found it entertaining. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast with la comunidad. For updates on future episodes and more, be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website at susd12.org. We appreciate your support and can't wait to have you back for the next episode. Hasta la próxima vez en Somos Sunnyside.